Alrighty, hey, thanks everybody for being here. We absolutely appreciate you joining us at our conference here in 2014. And unfortunately, the weatherman didn't get the memo that it's supposed to be freaking sunny down here. So it's still San Diego. It's nice. It's still San Diego. It's very, very nice. All right, my name is Chris Maury. I am the RIA channel manager here at LaserApp Software. I also work with many of the top broker dealers across the country. And you know, we all know that LaserApp Enterprise has been around now for almost 20 years. As Ed said this morning, it's our flagship product. It's continued to evolve. We've got somewhere in the ballpark of 90,000 users or so on Enterprise. But what you might not know is that there are some really cool features that, if implemented, could really make a positive impact on your business. And that's really what we're going to cover today, are some of the other things from the back office perspective that you might not know are available to you here with LaserApp Enterprise. These features are available to you upon your request. Some of them were mentioned in Robert's opening this morning. And then afterwards, too, just to let you know, too, if we have the time, I'm going to walk you through on your app. And did everybody here get a chance to download the conference app? Pretty much? Okay. Because actually from the conference app, there is a way for you to be able to let us know if there are any of the subjects that you would like to know more about, where you enter your information and then let us know which of the subjects that you'd like to know more about. That will get to our staff, and then your account manager or the department head will actually contact you, and we'll be able to line up a meeting and answer more of your questions about any of the things we get into today, since we're going to be kind of taking more of a 10,000-foot level view of what's available. All right. Used to having this thing in my hand. There we go. There we go. Okay. So what we're going to cover today really covers 3 different skill sets. The first thing that we wanted to get into today was smart forms. And smart forms, very simply, let me go back to that last slide there. This is the required field logic that was discussed this morning. All right? And required field logic simply means that you can let us know which of your fields on your forms that you would like programmed as smart to make sure that your reps or advisors don't miss those fields, thus helping to increase efficiency and reduce NIGO costs. Now the cool thing too, for those of you who are new to LaserApp, is that we actually program every form per applicable registration type. We don't just program them one way, so different data can be brought in depending upon what's requested. So you actually have the ability to program, as far as the smart form program is concerned with the smart tool, per registration type, what fields you want brought in on any of your forms. Okay. Now, as we get into taking a look at the actual smart form itself, a form that's been programmed as smart in LaserApp Enterprise, the first thing that you're going to notice here is as soon as an advisor goes to do a secondary action with LaserApp, so they've already loaded the form, they've already pre-filled it with data from an account opening system, from their CRM, whatever the case is, or from their LaserApp database. As soon as they go to a secondary action, which is either printing, e-signature, sending the forms of data to your back office, if they've missed any of those pertinent fields on the form, they're going to see this message. And what this message basically gives them the ability to do is either fix all of the fields that are where that data is missing, they can skip them one by one, or they actually have the ability to skip all of them. So it's really more of a soft enforcement in LaserApp Enterprise. Okay? And the reason that we do that too, folks, is because with Enterprise, one of the, again, neat features with it is that users have the ability to save forms as a work in progress. So maybe it's the advisor or assistant. What's that? Oh, okay. Thought I was being thrown out of the room already. Sorry about that. All right. Anyway, one of the, so it gives them the ability, thanks, Keith. I lost my train of thought. That's okay. No worries. No worries at all. They have the ability to save forms as a work in progress, so they may be filling out forms in advance of an actual meeting. So they might not actually have that data to fill on the form until they're actually meeting with the client, okay? So that's the reason they have the 3 different options. Now, something else before I forget too is that if those forms are saved as a work in progress, is that when they bring the form back up in LaserApp, and now they continue to work on the form, as long as it's been saved as a temporary form, they have the ability, the smart form fields will still be activated. Okay, so again, once they go to finalize their paperwork, it will give them the ability to add that additional data when saved as a temporary form. Now, what the advisor actually sees, if we take a look at the left-hand side arrow here, is they'll actually see in the fields that have been programmed as smart fields, a bright red border around those fields, and it's not static like this, it's actually a bright red flashing border. So it's real easy to identify which of those fields that you want to make sure that they don't miss. All righty. E-signature, boy, that's been a hot topic for the last who knows how many years, huh? Now, how many of you today have had your forms programmed for e-signature? There we go, a few companies. Okay, well, hopefully many more of you will be making that consideration and making the leap to e-signature. We all know, folks, that's where the industry's going. We all use e-signature, right, in our daily lives for just about everything else that's out there. Financial industry's been a little bit behind, but that, if it's not here completely today, we know that that's where things are going to be tomorrow. Well, we've been programming forms for e-signature for the last 9 years or so, okay? With e-signature, there are actually 3 different steps as far as e-signature is concerned that need to be done for e-signature to be able to be used. So the first thing is you need to let us know that you want your forms programmed for e-signature. So you provide that authorization, and then what we do is on the forms that have signature fields or initial fields, it's only on those pages, we'll go through and we'll apply that logic and for those forms to be signable. The second piece that needs to be done is that the actual LaserApp enterprise licenses themselves need to be e-signature enabled. Now, we do that with your permission. So if you're from a broker-dealer, if you're from a custodian, whatever the case is, you need to let us know that you want those licenses e-signature enabled, and we do that within our system. Okay, that's just upon request. And then the final piece is applying the e-signature credentials. So whatever e-signature vendor that you've chosen to go with for your firm, let us know that. We will apply that information again in our internal system and apply it to DocuSign, Signex, Solanus, whoever it might be. And at that point, the advisor can actually enter their credentials into their LaserApp license, which needs to just be done one time. And then at that point, they'll have the ability to start e-signing forms. Now, forms that are programmed for e-signature, and this is an example from DocuSign in this case, but you'll see that the actual signature field itself now has this overlay. So this one from DocuSign says double click to sign. It might look a little bit different from the other e-signature partners of ours, but it's basically the same idea. If a form has not been programmed for e-signature, and of course if that license is not e-signature enabled, then that field would simply be blank. You will not see that different overlay image. So it's real easy to see which forms have been programmed for e-signature or not. Now this is also important because let's just say as you're considering getting into e-signature, we all know that the custodians have really been ahead of the game. Most of the custodians today accept e-signature. Most of the clearing firms, Pershing, NFS, et cetera, will also accept e-signature. But if you want to maybe work with a test group, all right, and you have certain advisors that you would like to test e-signature with first of all, so you want to make sure not everybody is using e-signature to begin with, we can limit the number of licenses. You let us know which licenses that you want programmed for e-signature, and we'll be glad to program only those licenses. So you've got a bit more control there as well before you completely dive in with both feet. All right. Our stats system. This is our sponsor tracking and ticketing system. This really is our central hub for you to let us know which of your forms that you want programmed for, programmed in LaserApp, period. It's become the central hub we've had in place now since 2012. So you can submit the forms that you want to be programmed by LaserApp and be LaserApp enabled. And keeping in mind that means, of course, programming them to have the ability to pre-fill with up to 200 fields of data like that, okay? You can also let us know which forms you want programmed for e-signature. You can let us know which forms you want programmed as smart forms. Of course, there's also a history here of your tickets, so if you need to research past tickets, it's a nice, easy central communications hub that provides that ability. So it's something, of course, that's relatively new to LaserApp that we're proud of, and it's going to continue to evolve as well. And a matter of fact, we have a separate session on this. Is it a little later today, Blake? In an hour. There we go. So if you want to find out more about the stat system, I encourage you to come back here at 11 o'clock. All right, now this, of course, is one of the really neat things as well with LaserApp Enterprise. As you're probably aware today, most of your reps are creating forms groups to be able to pre-fill multiple forms simultaneously. Right? Not a whole lot of business gets done with only one form. So one of the main features that we've had as part of the core skill set within LaserApp is the ability to create forms groups, to have that ability to increase efficiency, honestly increase professionalism as well, right? When advisors are presenting forms that are neatly printed to their clients rather than something that's got chicken scratch on it, it makes them look better, it makes the firm look better. When they submit their paperwork, the back office can read what's actually been submitted so they get paid faster, your NIGO rates drop so everybody wins, all right? But one thing that you might not be aware of today is the fact that at the firm level, you have the ability to create form groups or form kits and then push those out to whatever users that you wish. So that can be done as well within your back office copy of LaserApp Enterprise to give you that ability. So if you know there are 5 different form kits that we want to make sure that every single one of our reps or advisors has, we're going to pre-build those groups for them. That's going to be done, and then we push them out to everybody. You have the ability as well in LaserApp Enterprise. And that's done. Take a look at the form group editor, which is part of within the LaserApp Enterprise license. Once you actually go through and create, of course, there's only one group that's been created up there, but you can create as many forms groups as you wish, and then you have the ability to export that entire group to whichever users that you wish. So again, something that gives you more control, more capability in making things much easier for your advisors or for your reps. All right. Now, as I get into the next piece here, we're going to talk about advanced data mapping. And I'm going to bring up Vanna White, Tom Cordova-Cadiz from our development team, and Tom's going to help me explain this a little bit better. Tom, come on up. Okay. And what we're going to talk about is a few different ways where additional mapping can be done within LaserApp Enterprise to help you capture more data. So the last thing I'm going to say about the first one we're going to cover is what we call alternate field or alt field mapping. And this is something that can be done on your forms. All right, and Tom, you want to talk about that a little bit and how that might be applied and why that might be important? Absolutely. Oh, right, sorry. Vanna didn't get a microphone, I did.
I speak pretty loudly, I can probably project. So with advanced data mapping, Robert touched on it this morning. Basically what we're talking about is building a relationship between the internal IDs, the numbers that really only mean anything to our staff, and a friendly name that your staff knows. So if you have your data organized in a database already, it's outside of our common data model, those 200 fields, which is always the base. You want to start with that common data model. But if you're extending beyond that, you have, let's say, 10 fields that appear on a lot of your forms. It's important data to you, so you already have it in a database. You can actually build a relationship between the form itself and then that friendly name that is the way that you think about that field. I always use grandmother's favorite color as an example. I don't know why, but let's say that grandmother's favorite color shows up on a lot of your forms, and you want to be able to get that data from your system onto the form. We actually have two methods of doing that, and the real distinction between those two methods is whether or not it's a form that you own or if it's an industry form that's out there. We're still going to allow you to pre-fill that data. The alt field names, those fields actually live inside the form. So that has to be your form that you have the authority to say, this is my form. I'm going to embed this data directly into the library, and it's that grandmother's social security number becomes embedded. Pick any of these fields. You're literally looking at the form. The form is the interface. And so you're going to pick that field, you're going to click on it, and then you're going to be presented with a dialog where you can say, friendly name, grandmother's social security number, and we also allow you to pick from a list. We want to make it efficient so that you're not mistyping these fields. You don't have to go and copy and paste from another source. You're going to be able to just pick from the list of these 10 fields that are important to your business to get those pre-filled onto the forms. And then the launch message that launches Laser App that's coming from your database can say, okay, grandmother's favorite color is blue. Grandmother, blue is going to appear on the form. That's alt field names, and it's embedded within the form in the library. If it's not your form, if it's an industry standard form, you don't have the ability to actually embed information in that form, we offer a similar tool, the style sheet tool. And the difference there is that you're going to hold on to that mapping. You're going to go through a very similar process. You're going to look at the form, you're going to pick the field, and you're going to say, I want to call this field grandmother's favorite color, and then we're going to give you that mapping as a file that you can host on your side, and you can do that same type of mapping to get blue onto the form. You're just going to hold on to that mapping in your server. So the technical details are a little bit different, but the core of being able to give a friendly name to a field on a form is the same. And so, the overall picture is we want to help you get those important fields reliably, consistently, and easily onto the forms in the way that you want to.
Wonderful. Before we move on to the next piece, is there anybody here who is not familiar with our common data model? Anybody at all? Okay, there we go. All it takes is one. All right. What our common data model is that so there are about 200 fields of data that we program in all 32,000 forms where you have the ability to pre-fill those particular fields. The way it's broken down, very simply, there's about 175 client fields. There are up to about 15 rep or advisor fields, and up to about 15 broker dealer or firm fields. So every form in our library, we program, like I said, all the forms with the ability to pre-fill with that data. With all of our partners, our CRM partners, custom CRM partners, account opening partners, whether it's your proprietary system, whatever the case is, you have the ability to apply that mapping one time, which will apply to all of our forms, and it applies through all of the updates. So it literally is a one and done scenario for the entire library, and so these things apply, again, to any fields that are outside of that common data model.
Yeah, that's all in the SDK. Yeah, it's spelled out. Something that I should mention, I sort of took my presentation just looking at the pre-fill side, but also all of these friendly names are available for extraction. So if you don't have a database that holds all of these names up front, you're not capturing the data up front, but you do have that database that's capturing the data coming from Laser App. Again, you can give a friendly name in either model. You can say that this field on the form represents grandmother's favorite color. Your reps and advisors can fill out the form within Laser App, and then you can capture that data from Laser App and be able to say, I didn't know it up front, but I was able to capture that data, that this field that I know what it represents gets into your back office database so that you have that information directly from the form rather than having to rekey.
Perfect. Okay, one more. You're not done yet, Vanna. Okay. Now the Trusted Web App, this is the plugin that, again, Tom will elaborate on momentarily, that allows you the ability to capture forms and data directly back from Laser App Enterprise. We've got several custodians and broker-dealers are using this today. This is something else, again, that can be used. Now, how many of you, just curious before Tom jumps in, how many of you today have staff who are rekeying data from your new account form, from whatever forms that you're collecting, where that data is being rekeyed manually into a back office system? Okay, a good portion of the room. And how many of you wish you did not have to have your staff rekey that data into the back office? There we go, just about everybody. Here we go. That's exactly what the Trusted Web App is for. And go ahead, Tom. You are on.
So just a second ago, I mentioned extracting data from the forms. The trusted web app is merely the implementation of that idea. You need to tell LaserApp Enterprise where the data should go. And the trust is important. You need to know that it's only going to the locations that are secure, that represent your back office server, and the trusted web app is the way that you send out that configuration. It's designed to be done very simply. It's not a difficult process to get that location keyed into LaserApp Enterprise. And so the trusted web configuration tells LaserApp Enterprise that for this set of forms, you can specify just your new account form, or you can specify particular forms that you want to make sure you capture, or every form in the library. And it's going to present with, did we get the button?
We did, there we go.
It's a little arrow, post all forms. And then you could have multiple of these. If you have e-signature for particular forms, you can have a trusted web configuration that is for e-signature on particular forms, and then a different trusted web configuration for a different set of forms. Or like I said, you can do all forms. If you have one process, you want it to all funnel through. And this is how you're going to be able to receive the data so that you can have not only the contact record, the common data model, those 200 fields that are base, plus any additional fields that you've coded with either the alt field names or the style sheet. And then you can have the form images as well. We offer PDFs and TIFFs so that your imaging system can take that data and store it for long-term storage.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Tom. If there's a back door back there, I'll be surprised. Yeah. You might be really lonely back there, Tom, for the next few minutes. Okay. All right. Now, where would we be without our integration partners? With Enterprise, the great thing is that we're integrated with, it's somewhere in the ballpark of around 80 or so different partners. So CRM partners, custom CRM partners, account opening firms, document imaging firms, commission and compliance software, all sorts of different solutions, many of which, of course, our partners, as you know, are here. So please take the time to go by and talk to these folks who are sponsoring the conference and are here for you to speak with. This list, of course, continues to grow. We're also integrated with what you don't see here, of course, are the different proprietary systems, which is probably another 24 or so proprietary systems that we're integrated with. So we tend to have a reputation of in the industry of being very easy to work with. As you can see, Tom is a real nasty guy, so if you have any questions at all for our developers, he's always very reluctant to be nice and share information. All right. Training resources. With LaserApp Enterprise, there are several different training resources that are available to your reps and your staff today. Now, right from our website, just www.laserapp.com, if you go to the where it says support up here, this page will load. This only shows about 2/3 of the page, but your reps, your staff have the ability to run through either live training for LaserApp Enterprise, of which we do beginners classes 3 days a week. We do an advanced class 1 day a week, and then we do a transition training class every Monday. All right, and of course what the transition training class is for is for folks who are maybe are joining your firm, need to repaper a ton of clientele. The great thing with Enterprise, of course, is that they have the ability to pre-fill multiple forms for multiple clients simultaneously. So it literally can take a repapering project that might take months and knock it down to days or hours. What we also have available, besides the live training, are pre-recorded videos. We've got a boatload of pre-recorded videos on there for LaserApp Anywhere, anywhere from showing a complete beginner's class all the way to showing the different integration points with CRM partners, showing how Enterprise might work with some of the e-signature partners, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of resources right at their fingertips, at your fingertips. And we also offer, of course, our 800 number for our tech support staff. They're in the office from 7 to 4 Pacific, Monday through Friday. So any calls you have are on our nickel, and we're glad to help as far as that's concerned. Now, a little preview for tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a session here at 10:30 in this room on LaserApp Anywhere for the home office. So for those of you who want to find out more about our mobile solution that's taken off like a freaking rocket ever since we announced it at our 2012 conference, we're going to be covering those details and some of the benefits for the custodian, TAMP, RAA, or broker-dealer back office tomorrow. So I encourage you to be here at 10:30 tomorrow. And then also earlier, I think around 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're going to be doing there's going to be Laser App Anywhere for the advisor, which is going to be covered by George Placencia. So if you want to see really kind of both sides of the fence, what this looks like for the advisor, and then come in and see my session at 10:30 and see how it looks for the back office and all the different benefits and how you can help grow your business and really set yourself up a great foundation for the future. But then I encourage you to attend tomorrow. Right? Okay, now we're at the end of the presentation. I was going to show you, I'll see if I can do it on my laptop. I was going to show you from my phone and have it hooked up. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that. But for those of you who have any interest in any of the subjects that we cover today, right? Smart forms, the advanced data mapping, whether it be alt field name, style sheet mapping, the trusted web app, whatever, right through your conference application or through the conference app, you can notify us which of those you'd like to have more information on. So let me see if I can walk you through. I will do my best. I've only seen this once on my computer since we couldn't get this set up with my phone. Bear with me just for a moment here. Great, and I get the beach ball of death. Okay, tell you what. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So from the conference app, if you go in, if you go into general information, believe me.
It takes a while for these things to load.
Yeah, I hear you, David. General information. This is going to take forever. If yeah, let's do this. Anybody who wants to find out this information, I'll show you how to do it from my phone. That I know. We can go meet at the end of the room. I'll be glad to walk you through where to be able to enter that information. And then, like I said, we'll contact you and reach back out to you so you can find out more about any one of the subjects that we talked about today. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Again, I encourage you to take advantage of as much of the conference as you possibly can. And again, if you have any questions for any Laser App staff, let us know. We are happy to help.